Hello friends, how are you all? So, in the Flash so far, we've seen the Star Labs team come together to create a jail in Star Labs where they could keep all the metahumans. Joe was threatened by the Reverse Flash to close Henry's case or else he will kill Iris.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive. When I was a child, I saw my mother killed by something impossible. My father went to prison for her murder. Then an accident made me the impossible. To the outside world, I'm an ordinary forensic scientist. But secretly, with the help of my friends at Star Labs, I fight crime and find other metahumans like me. And one day I will find who killed my mother and get justice for my father. I am the Flash.
So let's quickly move to the new episode where we start with episode 7, where right in the first scene, we are taken 10 months back. The story flashes back showing 3 friends observing Dr. Harrison Wells' experiment with the particle accelerator, viewing from the city's highest point, where one of them, Farouk, climbs up an electric pole and from there sees that just then an explosion at Star Labs causes waves to emerge. Farouk gets a high voltage shock, which makes him collapse right there. And now the story returns to the present where Dr. Harrison goes into his secret room to conduct late-sight tests and experiments with Barry. The report includes in its documentary, along with news related to Barry's future, which is still the same as what we saw in the beginning of the episode, after which Dr. Harrison returns to his wheelchair, meeting his team, Barry, Cisco, and Caitlin, where Dr. Harrison wants Barry to drop all his work and just focus on his abilities, which Barry absolutely dislikes. Then Barry gets a call from Joe as he needs to reach a crime scene where a murder had taken place a few days earlier, and looking at the dead body, it seemed like it was struck by a powerful lightning bolt, causing severe burns across the body. Meanwhile, Barry discusses the case with his Star Labs team when suddenly their system alerts them of an imminent power outage in the city, where once again, without any plan, he reaches the place where electricity was being cut off. Barry encounters a meta-human who can absorb electricity and drain all the energy from it, and this was none other than Farouk, whom we saw at the beginning of the episode, where during the attack on Barry, Farouk gains energy from Barry's body because Barry's body was very different from normal humans, after which Farouk attacks Barry and absorbs all the energy from his body. Somehow, Barry managed to save his life and reaches Star Labs, where Barry and his team realize that Barry has lost all his powers, where Dr. Harrison promises to soon restore Barry's strength. Meanwhile, Barry breaking the news of losing his powers to Joe, where even Iris finds out. Iris feels there is more to the crimes happening in the city involving her father and her best friend, and she's quite worried about it. Iris questions the necessity of worrying when we have a superhero like Flash in our city. Next, we see a criminal named Tony being caught and just brought into the police station. Then, in the next scene, Dr. Harrison is shown, who is quite worried upon learning about Barry's lost powers, and goes to his secret room to see Barry's future. Suddenly, all information related to Flash, that is Barry, had disappeared from the future. Then, through the records analyzed by Cisco, it's revealed that Farouk was also a victim of the particle accelerator explosion that day, and his 2 friends were there as well, who also died there. Then, the security alarm of Star Labs alerts them that Farouk, shouting Dr. Harrison's name, is trying to enter Star Labs, where it digitally locks everything securely, which Farouk sees, then absorbs all the energy from the outdoor transformer. That means, along with the Star Labs, all the lights at the police station go out too. So, there's Farouk, who now sneaks into Star Labs, so taking the opportunity of the power outage. Tony, the criminal brought into the police department, pulls out a gun from a staff and takes everyone present there hostage, including Joe and Iris. On the other hand, Dr. Harrison suggests that shocking Barry again might restore his powers because the cells inside Barry's body still work just like before, only its speed has become normal now. So, on another hand, Tony demands a personal helicopter in exchange for releasing the hostages from Captain Singh. Seeing everyone's life at risk, Barry decides to confront Farouk alone, hoping to calm him down. So, in anger, Farouk tells Barry that all this has happened due to Dr. Harrison's plans. He has changed so much that he absorbed the energy from his own friends' bodies and killed them, and he can't handle this anymore. but whatever happens to him will be dealt with later. Right now, he is going to kill Dr. Harrison and leave from here, and with that, Farouk also attacks Barry. Then Dr. Harrison orders Cisco to quickly turn on the generator to shock Barry back, so that Barry's powers can return as soon as possible. Then, on the other hand, a police station is shown where we see that Eddie is also stuck there, which Joe doesn't know about, where Eddie shoots Tony from behind without his knowledge, but Tony dodges and shoots Eddie in the arm in return, where now Eddie was injured. Remembering the Flash caught in this situation, Iris hopes for his help. So, in Star Labs, we see Dr. Harrison releases Tony from the cell so he can fight Farouk, and in return, Dr. Harrison will free Tony forever. Where as long as Tony and Farouk confront each other, Caitlin helps Barry by giving him an electric shock. Even after a shock, there are no changes in Barry, so Tony could not withstand Farouk for long, and there Tony dies. Seeing Tony's body, Barry angrily questions Harrison, "How could you do this? To save our own lives, we could not take the life of another person." Seeing the situation, Dr. Harrison calms Barry down, where Caitlin again takes a sample of Barry's blood. From his sample, everyone realizes Barry's cells are normal. Why aren't his powers returning? As Dr. Harrison explains, sometimes in nervousness, we can't use our inner powers. So Barry, I request you to forget everything, calm down, and try to regain your power. Seeing Farouk approaching, everyone tries to escape through the back way, but Farouk catches up to them there as well, and attacks where seeing the impending danger to Barry, Dr. Harrison surrenders himself to Farouk so he could save Barry. Meanwhile, on the other side, Tony tries to escape using Iris as leverage upon seeing a helicopter arriving on his demand, where Iris cleverly takes a hidden gun and attacks Tony, arresting him once again. So on the other hand, Dr. Harrison, seeing you dying, suddenly a zeal comes inside Barry. Along with that, Barry's lost powers also return. Using it, Barry saves Dr. Harrison, while when Farouk begins to absorb Barry's energy, Barry increases his energy tenfold. Farouk couldn't bear that much energy, and dies right there, where Barry gets completely affected. Seeing the situation as normal gives Barry a lot of comfort. Then only at the Star Labs does Caitlin pack Farouk's body and lock him in the same jail. It was made for this. So in the next scene, we see Eddie, who is in the hospital and now out of danger. So this Barry also apologizes for not arriving on time last night in his Flash avatar to Eddie. We see Dr. Harrison in his secret room today. The changes in Barry's body are again included in his documentary. Only then does news about the Flash start appearing again in the future. So at the end of the episode, we also see Dr. Harrison near Farouk's body, who is taking a blood sample from Farouk to find out the limitations of Farouk's powers, and it absorbed the energy up to Barry in one go. And with this, the episode ends. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can see the next part of this. Thanks for watching.